Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something pretty major that's happened in Northern California.
Yeah, that huge fireworks warehouse explosion, the one near Esparto, Yolo County, happened just a couple of days ago, July 1st.
Exactly, at the devastating pyrotechnics facility. And it sounds like it was, well, devastating.
Oh, absolutely. More than just, one explosion. We're talking a massive initial blast. People nearby said it felt like an earthquake.
Earthquake,
Yeah,
wow.
and then came these secondary explosions, one after another. Huge smoke plumes filling the sky. Just chaos.
So, our goal here for this deep dive is to really unpack what went down, look at the immediate impact, what responders are facing, and, the bigger picture.
Right, what does an incident like this actually mean?
We'll use the sources we've gathered to get beyond just the what's and try to understand the why it matters and maybe what questions this whole thing raises. So let's jump in.
Okay.
That initial blast, I mean, just thinking about being near that must have been terrifying. Let's break down the timeline first. What happened and when?
Right. So it kicked off around 6 p.m. Tuesday, July 1st.
Okay, evening time.
Yeah, out at that facility on County Road 23 and 86A. That's near Esparto, maybe 40 miles west of Sacramento.
Got it.
And that first explosion was, well, incredibly powerful. Reports say it completely destroyed the main warehouse building, just leveled it.
And that wasn't the end of it, was it? It sounds like it set off a chain reaction.
That's exactly right. Once the warehouse went, it triggered a whole series of secondary blasts. All those stored fireworks just started going off,
Oh, man.
which of course started a fire. A big one. It spread really fast through the surrounding vegetation, scorched something like 78 acres.
78 acres.
Yeah. And visually, it was dramatic. These huge black smoke plumes going thousands of feet up. People felt their houses shake significantly. That earthquake comparison keeps coming up.
Yeah, I can see why. Imagine feeling that and not knowing. Realizing it's the facility down the road. That's got to be disorienting.
Definitely. A very different kind of fear, I imagine.
And amidst all that destruction, the immediate worry is the human cost, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's the most pressing thing right now.
Especially the uncertainty around the missing people and these conflicting reports about fatalities. It
Yep.
really paints a picture of the chaos. What's the latest on that?
So as of, well, this morning, July 3rd, the big concern is 7 people are still missing. Unaccounted for.
7. And do we know if they were workers or...
But that's the thing, it's still unclear. Could be workers, could be bystanders, we just don't know yet.
Okay.
We do know 2 people were injured in that first blast. They got medical treatment, thankfully.
Right. So confirmed injuries, but the fatality situation is less clear. You mentioned conflicting reports.
Yeah, it's murky. Some initial reports mentioned maybe at least 1 death,
Mhm.
but it's inconsistent. Could be different local sources saying different things in the early hours.
Mm.
Confirmation is proving difficult, especially with the site itself still being so dangerous. The full picture is, unfortunately, still emerging.
And that ongoing danger, those continuing explosions, that must completely dictate the emergency response, right? It really shows the unique hazards of a fireworks place.
It absolutely does. That's a critical point. First responders, they have to be incredibly cautious.
So they're keeping their distance.
Yeah, monitoring from afar.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not like a normal fire. You've got pyrotechnic chemicals involved. They're unstable.
Right, not just burning, but potentially exploding.
Exactly. Rapid reactions, unpredictable detonations, even from small pockets of material. That chemical instability is why they just can't go in on foot yet. The danger could persist for days.
So if ground access is out, how are they even trying to search for the missing people or assess the risks?
Well, safety measures came first. They set up a wide evacuation zone pretty quickly. Officials are telling everyone to stay well clear.
Makes sense.
For the search itself, since ground teams can't go in, they're using drones and aircraft, trying to get eyes on the area safely from above, looking for any sign of the missing, assessing the ongoing risks.
And what about the impact on the surrounding community? Power outages, things like that?
Yeah, significant disruption. Reports say about 150 to 200 homes and farms lost electricity because of the blast. So people are dealing with that on top of everything else.
Okay, let's shift to the investigation. You mentioned earlier the question of whether it was just storage or if manufacturing happened there. Why is that distinction so important?
It could be key. It changes the whole risk profile,
Mhm.
the types and quantities of chemicals involved, the processes. It really matters for figuring out the cause.
Right, and potentially for future regulations too.
Exactly. So the investigation is technically underway. CAL FIRE, the state fire marshal's office, They're leading it.
with federal help.
Yeah, the ATF is involved too. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. They have specific expertise in explosives, obviously.
But they're facing the same problem as the search teams, right? Physical access.
Pretty much. Those ongoing intermittent explosions are the main obstacle until they can safely get investigators onto the site to do the detailed forensic work.
It's kind of a waiting game.
It is. So the cause. Officially undetermined. They're looking at everything, including that storage versus manufacturing question. What materials were there, how much, under what conditions? Those are vital clues.
Even from a distance, are there things they can look for? Blast patterns, debris fields?
Oh, absolutely. They'll be analyzing drone footage, any remote sensing data, eyewitness reports, looking at the spread pattern, the nature of the blasts. But the ground truth, that close-up inspection, is crucial and still pending.
Okay, turning now to the ripple effects. How has the company Devastating Pyrotechnics responded, and local officials?
Well, the company put out a statement expressing sorrow, pledging cooperation with the investigation, extending sympathies to the families.
Standard corporate response, I suppose.
Pretty standard in these awful situations, yeah. But an important public step for them.
And local officials, what's their focus?
They've been praising the emergency crews, understandably. Their main focus right now seems to be containment, stopping the fire spread completely, and supporting that ongoing investigation.
And the economic impact, beyond the power outages.
Oh yeah, there's more. Reports mention several other commercial buildings nearby were damaged or destroyed. And those fires on farmland, that's going to hit local businesses, agriculture. It's a definite economic ripple effect for the community.
So let's connect the dots here. When we step back, what's the bigger picture? You said this isn't just local. How does it touch on things like public safety, regulations?
It absolutely does. And the timing.
Yeah.
Just before the 4th of July. But it's huge.
Right, peak season for fireworks.
Exactly. And it's not just, oh no, where will we get our fireworks? It's more about how an event like this, at this specific time, forces everyone, regulators, the industry itself, to really confront safety questions. Maybe with more urgency than they might have otherwise. It could accelerate changes.
And the scale of it marks it as something more than just a fire, doesn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. This is a major industrial disaster. You've got extensive fire damage, continuing danger to responders, 7 people missing. That's significant.
And the community impact.
Profound. It's not just the evacuations and the practical stuff. It's the trauma, living with this ongoing, unpredictable threat nearby that creates real anxiety.
Which leads to the regulatory side. You expect more scrutiny now.
Inevitable. Authorities will be looking very closely at whether this facility followed all the rules, state rules, federal rules, on storing and handling fireworks. This kind of incident always prompts a review of safety protocols.
Could lead to changes.
Very possibly. It might force a rethink of how we manage and store volatile materials like this, especially as communities grow closer to industrial areas. It's a flashpoint moment, potentially.
So to sort of wrap up where we are, a tragic explosion has hit the Esparto area hard. Warehouse destroyed, people injured, 7 still missing. The investigation is ongoing, but hampered by safety concerns, while the community waits for answers and starts to recover.
That's the situation as it stands. A lot of uncertainty still.
Yeah. You know, this deep dive into the devastating pyrotechnics explosion, it really underscores the risks involved in industries we don't often think about day to day. And it makes you ask, are we learning enough from past industrial accidents, especially when it comes to handling materials this volatile? This whole thing, the immediate tragedy and the long-term ripples, and just makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the hidden complexities, the safety nets or lack thereof behind products designed for, a moment of celebration. What more could we, maybe should we, be doing to ensure safety with stuff like this?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
A tough one to answer right now.